All right, I have a stack of books to talk about today, guys. Hi, readers. It's Lori. Welcome to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, and welcome to my review of my January 2024 book haul. I have decided this is one of the things I want to try to do consistently this year is to look back at what I hauled and really be diligent about either reading it, unhauling it, or, making sure that I prioritize it at some point, because I think it's important for me to be aware of what I'm taking in and what I am consuming. So that is the purpose of this particular video, and this is the first in what I hope will be 12 this year. But in January of 2024, I hauled... I had two parts to my January haul in 2024, and I hauled 13 books in those two series, and I had hauled a good bit, and then I went back at the end of the month and grabbed a couple more. So let's talk about what I read and what I didn't read and what I unhauled, because there were a couple. So the first book that I hauled I no longer own, and that was New Orleans Morning, Mourning, by Julie Smith. This was our group read for the Mardi Gras Readathon. It was a mystery set in New Orleans, hence the book read. I did read it. I didn't love it. It was okay. I don't plan to continue in that series. It was the first in her series of this particular character, whose name I now cannot recall. But I read it and I put it in a little free library. Then my Book of the Month Club selections for the month of January, I hauled The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose, and I read it. And I really liked it a lot. And I hauled The Fury by Alex Michaelides, and I read it and I liked it a lot. You can see that this started out really well, and I was probably very, very proud of myself for reading these books that I had already hauled, right? I'm sure that I was ready to rumble. So the next one my daughter asked me if I wanted to read it, keep it, whatever. She doesn't keep a lot of books, as many of you know if you're familiar with my channel, so I said sure. Megan Miranda wrote The Last House Guest, which I read and I enjoyed. I think I gave it 4 stars, and so I thought this one would be good. This one got a lot of buzz. I never did read it. There's a murder of Brandon and Fiona Truitt in a small place that was quiet called Hollow's Edge. And of course, then it's, what's going to happen as a result of this murder. So that is a possibility for me this year. I'm throwing them gently, throwing them gently. I'll Be Gone in the Dark was a book club selection for me from my library for the the Really Dead book club. Better Read Than Dead. I think that's what it's called. Better Read Than Dead book club. Anyway, this was my read the first month of January of 2024. I did not get to it. I got it too late. I found out about it too late. Didn't have time, but do plan to keep this and read it. Michelle McNamara wrote this book about the Golden State Killer. She did not live to finish the book, so I think her husband, who's Patton Oswalt, finished it. This one apparently took a huge toll on her, and I would like to find out what happened to her, but also what happened with the Golden State Killer. So that's still on my list. Then Homicide in Hardcover by Kate Carlisle. I hauled this because I had a couple others that I had gotten, I think, as gifts. Hadn't read the first one. Didn't want to start the series till I read the first one. I did read the first one. I really liked it. I read it quickly. I could go back and read the second and third now that I am thinking about this, so that will remind me to get back to this series. And I actually have thought about getting back to this series more than once. These are books I can read in a day easily. In fact, I think I was sick in January and I read this then. But I enjoyed it. So that's 3 books that I've read, right? Nope, that's 4 books that I've read of this 13. Welcome to Jubilee by Rachel Hanna. I unhauled that. I started it. In the video, I say I don't usually read books like this, and I don't know why I got this, and I don't know why I got it. I did open it. I did start it. It was not going to work for me. So I've unhauled that into a little free library as well. All right, then we come to short stories that were edited by Jasmine Ward, who I adore and lives here in Mississippi near me. And so I wanted to get this. My local bookstore, Indie Book Press store, is lovely, and I got that there at the same place I recently had coffee with a booktube friend. So I didn't get to this, but I would like to. This is my reminder that short stories exist and I could put them in my life again. This is my second reminder of that. This was published in 2021, so it is a backlist for sure. And yeah, I would love to get to this. There's some authors that I know, Kevin Wilson, Nicole Krauss, Brandon Hobson, I don't know. Christina Romanowski, I don't know that I've ever read anything by Christina Romanowski. There's a lot of authors here that I don't know. So I would really like to get to these. And maybe I can do that this year. All right. From Tension to Transformation. That is the name of this book that was written by a colleague of mine, a mentor of mine, a coach that I really adore, and I do some coach training for her organization. From Tension to Transformation, a leader's guide to generative change. She's written this. She inscribed it for me. Never got to it. Would be an easy read. I could definitely take that on. The 12 dogs of Christmas. We got late last year after Christmas. I didn't get to it last year. I had it on my Christmas stack this year. I didn't get many of those read at all. It's hard for me to read a book about Christmas after Christmas, but then again, I could do that. This month. It would not take me long. This is a short little book. I only got about 30 pages in, I think. No, not even 15 pages in. And I got sick this Christmas, and so I just didn't get to finish it. But I would like to get to this either now or maybe Christmas in July or Christmas in 2025, because I would prioritize it as a result of this memory, right? Finding Colin Firth, I got in a little free library and grabbed it and never read it. Mia March is the author. She wrote the Meryl Streep Movie Club. I didn't read that either, but this one really interested me. And it has a book club chat in the back. Maybe my book club would want to read it. I don't know. I've read a chapter. I know I want to keep it. I know I want to read it. I just haven't gotten to it. So it is on the list. It's in the stack. The next one I hauled was actually Rogue Justice by Stacey Abrams. This is the second in her Avery Keene, yeah, series. Look at me go. However, I never read book one. So I would have to go with book one before I go to book two, because I do think that these need to be read in order. I have asked a few friends of mine who said, I think your experience would be better if you started at the beginning and you got Avery's backstory. So I definitely plan to do that. I've been staring at this one for a while, so it's in the top 3 of books I would like to get to. And then I could just go straight on in February and read Rogue Justice, right? So I have some time. I feel like that would go fast. Yes. And then the last one I have been reading, so I can't count this as a no or a yes. It's in the middle, it's in between. I'm just tackling this when I have a minute. I grab it, and this is just lovely. It's about her experience working in the theater, especially in her Shakespeare plays. She and the other author, who's Brandon O'Hay, I think, yes, they go through each piece and they really kind of unpack the depth of each play, but also her experience in the plays. And he's an experienced director, theater director, actor as well. So it's just a lot of conversations about Shakespeare, and I've really enjoyed it, and I love this book, and I would like to finish it this year. So I think I need to just prioritize it a little bit more often. So that is that one. So there is my result. I read 4 of them. I DNF'd one and unhauled it. I unhauled another one, and then the rest of them I still have on my shelves. So here's what I'm going to choose between. Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, because I'm in the mood for thrillers these days. I haven't read as many lately, and I feel like my appetite for them is high. And While Justice Sleeps is the other one that I might get to, because I've been looking at both of these pretty frequently and thinking about them. And obviously I'll continue to read the Judi Dench pieces, and I would not mind starting the short story series. We'll see. But for sure, it's between one of these two by the end of the month. And if I could do both of them, I would be even happier. So stay tuned and see how that works. Yeah? All right. Thanks for watching. I'm so glad that you're here. Let me know if you've read any of these. If you liked them, if they're on your list as well, let me know that too. And we'll see how I do with my January 2024 haul and what happens the rest of this year as a result of this. And then at the end of the year, I need to look at all these and say, okay, should you stay or should you go? That's it, right? All right. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate all of you so very, very much. And as always, happy reading. Bye.